League of Legends take place in a fictional world of Runeterra, also known as Magic Earth. It comprises of a supercontinent of Valoran. However, not much is known about the creation of the universe of League at the moment, but Riot is starting to slowly explain outside the planet of Runeterra after the introduction of Aurelian Soul. Even with the creation lore still in mystery, there is still a lot to cover about Runeterra itself, so let's get right into it. Runeterra is huge, and there is still a lot of places in Runeterra that is unknown to the rest of the mainland. However, the majority of the focus lays in the supercontinent Valoran, which consists mainly of Bandle City, Bilgewater, Demacia, Freljord, Ionia, Mount Targon, Noxus, Piltover, Shadow Isles, Shurima, and Zaun. The Void is also seen influencing the world in its own way. However, it is a different dimension and a topic for another day. In Valoran, there is currently two well-known superpowers that has been at each other for a long time and is well known for their rivalry. These are of course Demacia and Noxus. Demacia is a strong, lawful society with a prestigious military history. It values the ideals of justice, honor, and duty highly, and its people are fiercely proud. Demacia is a self-sufficient agrarian society with abundant fertile farmland, dense forests that are logged for lumber, and mountains rich with mineral resources. It is inherently defensive, partly in response to frequent attacks from barbarians, raiders, and expansionist civilizations. Some suggest that the golden age of Demacia has passed, and unless it is able to adapt to a changing world, its decline is inevitable. Nevertheless, Demacia remains one of the dominant powers in Valoran and boasts its most elite, well-trained army in all of Runeterra. Noxus, on the other hand, is also a powerful empire with a fearsome reputation. To those beyond its borders, Noxus is a brutal, expansionist, and threatening. Yet those who look beyond its warlike exterior see an unusually inclusive society where the strengths and talents of its people are respected and cultivated. Its people were once a prominent culture until they stormed the ancient city that now lies at the heart of its empire. Under threat from all sides, they aggressively took the fight to their enemies, pushing their borders outward with every passing year. This struggle for survival has made the Noxians a deeply proud people who value strength above all. Anyone can rise to a position of power and respect within Noxus if they display the necessary skill regardless of social standing, background, homeland, or wealth. Opinions differ as to where exactly the land of Yordles, called the Bandle City, can be found. Some believe these creatures live far to the southeast, beyond a range of impassable mountains. Others claim the Yordles live under a grassy green hills, or deep in the hearts of an impenetrable forest. Perhaps some of these tales are true, or maybe none, for no expedition to find the Yordle homeland has ever located it, which is not to say that no one has ever visited the land of Yordle, for many claim to have traveled through unseen portals into a land of fey enchantment, populated by these creatures of mischief. In Bandle City, every sensation is heightened for non-Yordles. Colors are incredibly vivid, the food and the drink intoxicates the senses for years, and once tasted will never be forgotten. The sunlight is eternally golden, the waters crystal clear, and every harvest brings beautiful bounty. It is also a place of unfettered magic, where the careless can be led astray by its wonders and can end up lost in a dream until they drop dead of hunger and thirst. Those who have claimed to have traveled to Bandle City speak of a timeless quality which may explain why many such storytellers appear to have aged tremendously, or in fact never return at all. Nevertheless, the Yordle land is the home of the Yordle race, where dwells the vast majority of the Yordle society. It is located to the southeastern part of Valoria, behind the safety of Sabletown mountain range. Centuries before, the Yordles were a nomadic race, traveling around the continent for many years. They eventually settled themselves within the Rudinip Valley, where the modern-day Bandle City is now located. While their society may seem like a simple rural community, the city itself holds a great deal of intrigue and mystery. The Freljord is a region located in the northern part of Valoran. The Avarosan tribe has formed the Kingdom of Freljord and are the main governing body of this land. It is currently in a civil war with the Winter's Claw and the Froscar tribe, ancient beings called the Iceborn, originate from this area. Freljord is an unforgiving place, a mountainous land covered in snow and ice. It is home to many vicious ice storms. Travel, especially in the winter, can be very dangerous. The ice often claim even those who have spent their entire lives there. The Freljord is a harsh and unforgiving land. Proud and fiercely independent, its people are born warriors with a strong raiding culture. While there are many individual tribes within the Freljord, the battle lines are being drawn in a three-way civil war that will determine the future for them all. One tribe honors the traditions that have ensured its survival, another follows the dream of a united future as foretold by a young idealist, while the third worships the power of an enigmatic sorceress. Ionia is a land of unspoiled beauty and natural magic. Its inhabitants living in scattered settlements across this massive island continent are a spiritual people who seek to live in harmony and balance with the world. There are many orders and sects across Ionia, each following their own often conflicting paths and ideals. Ionia is a naturally beautiful island nation full of ancient trees, tall mountains, and tranquil rivers. The entire landscape is covered with large patches of forest teeming with life. Ionia has remained largely neutral in the wars that has ravaged Valoria over the centuries, until it was invaded by Noxus. This brutal conflict has forced Ionia to reassess its place in the world. How it reacts and the future path Ionia will follow is as of yet undetermined. However, animosity against Noxus had led to militarization and vigilantism. Thirst for the dark arts is on the rise. Zaun is a large undercity lying under the deep canyons and valleys. It is a city filled with an industrial setting with the cloudy skies of smoke and gas where light and warmth from the sun barely comes forth. Zaun is seen to be in rivalry with the neighboring city called Piltover. Both city-states push one another in innovation, however, they are both ideologically counter opposites. Though it exists in perpetual smoked twilight, Zaun thrives. Its people vibrant and its culture rich. Piltover's wealth has allowed Zaun to develop technologies in many unethical ways. Many of the goods coming to Piltover find their way into Zaun's black markets, and the Hextech inventors who find the restrictions placed upon them in Piltover too restrictive often find their dangerous researches welcomed in Zaun. Unmoderated development of dangerous technologies and reckless industry has rendered Zaun polluted and dangerous. Streams of toxic poisons and gas stagnate in the city's lower reaches, but even here, people find a way to exist and prosper. Piltover is a thriving, progressive city whose power and influence is on the rise. It is Valorant's cultural center where art, craftsmanship, trade, and innovation walk hand in hand. Its power comes not through military might, but the engines of commerce and forward thinking. Situated on the high cliffs overlooking the ocean, fleets of ships pass through its titanic sea gate, bringing goods from all over the world. The wealth this generates has given rise to an unprecedented boom in the city's growth. Piltover has, and still is, reinventing itself as a city where fortunes can be made and dreams can be lived. Merchant clans fund themselves in the most incredible endeavors, grand artistic follies, Hextech research, and an architectural monument to their power. With ever more inventors getting into the emerging lore of Hextech, Piltover has become a phase for having the most skilled craftsmen in the world. The Empire of Shurima was once a thriving civilization that spanned a vast desert. After an era of growth and prosperity, the fall of its gleaming capital left the empire in ruins. Over millennia, tales of Shurima's glorious city became a myth and a religion among the descendants of the scattered survivors. Most of the nomadic inhabitants of Shurima search for basic sustenance in an unforgiving land. Some defend small outposts built around a few oases. Others hunt buried riches among the ruins of the fallen empire, or obtain mercenary work, taking coin for their deed before disappearing back into the sands. Now the tribes are steered by the whispers from the heart of the desert. The city of Shurima has risen again. Bilgewater is a haven for smugglers, murderers, and the unscrupulous, where fortunes are made and ambitions scattered in the blink of an eye. For those fleeing justice, debt, or persecution, it is a city of new beginnings. No one on the twisted streets of Bilgewater cares about your past. It is a melting pot of cultures, races, and creeds, alive with activity at all hours. While incredibly dangerous, Bilgewater is also ripe with opportunity, free from the shackles of government and regulation and moral constraints. If you have the coin, almost anything can be purchased in Bilgewater, from outlawed hextech to the favor of local crime lords. Nevertheless, come daybreak, the unwary are found floating in the harbor, their purses empty and their throats slit. The land known as Shadow Isles was once a beautiful realm, but it was shattered by a magical cataclysm. Black mist permanently shrouds the isles, and the land itself is tainted, corrupted by malevolent force and sorcery. Living beings that stand upon the Shadow Isles slowly have their life force leached from them, which in turn draws the insatiable predatory spirits of the dead. Those who perish within the black mist are condemned to haunt this land for eternity. Worse, the power of the Shadow Isles is waxing stronger with every passing year, allowing the shades of undead to extend their range and reap souls all across Runeterra.